Stop believing the lie that the world plays fair. It doesn't. In the freezing silence of a boardroom or amidst the clinking glasses of a dinner party, someone is calculating how to break you. A backhanded compliment, a joke at your expense. These aren't accidents, they are power moves. The world is split into two factions, the predators who humiliate for sport, and the prey who smile just to keep the peace. Right now, you are the prey. And if you remain harmless, you are nothing but a pawn in their game. What I am about to hand you is not advice, it is a weapon. We call this dark intelligence. And like any weapon, it requires strict discipline. If you intend to use these tactics to manipulate the innocent or bully the weak, stop watching immediately. This content is not for you. But if you are exhausted from being the target in a modern culture that thrives on cancellation, peer pressure, and performative outrage, then listen closely. Whether you are navigating the shark tank of a corporate boardroom or the social politics of an Ivy League campus, you must realize that these environments are not meritocracies. They are battlefields. To survive, you must master the art of mirroring. Now, understand that most people completely misunderstand this concept. They think mirroring is simply mimicking someone's posture to build rapport or to be liked. That is the behavior of a child seeking approval. High-value individuals understand that true mirroring is a defensive shield. It is the ability to take the toxic energy, the insults, and the aggression directed at you and reflect it back to its source with mathematical precision. Niccolo Machiavelli famously warned that a man who tries to be good all the time is bound to come to ruin among so many who are not good. You are not here to be nice. You are here to be effective. So, before we unlock these three techniques, I need to know who is in the room. Are you a victim? Or are you a master of your own reality? If you are ready to wield this responsibility, go to the comments right now and type, "I am the mirror." Make this your public commitment to strategic sovereignty. Let the algorithm know you are awake. Point number 1, the gaze. Most people, when faced with aggression, default to submission. The herd looks down. When someone insults you or tries to humiliate you in a meeting, the instinct of the weak is to break eye contact, to look at the table, or to nervously check their phone. This is a fatal error. It signals to the predator that their attack has landed. The ruler does the exact opposite. Before you utter a single syllable, you must win the visual battle. This is not about being rude. It is about biology. Research published in Nature Times on gaze dominance confirms that direct, prolonged eye contact triggers a spike in physiological arousal in the recipient. It forces a visceral reaction. By holding your gaze, you are not just looking at them, you are stimulating a fight or flight response in their brain. You are taking control of their nervous system. Imagine the scenario. A senior partner at a law firm or a manager on Wall Street decides to dress you down in front of the team. They expect you to crumble. They expect you to retreat. Instead, you stay completely silent. You don't frown. You don't grimace. You simply lock onto them. But here is the technique. Do not look into their eyes, which can betray your own emotion. Focus your vision on the triangle of skin right between their eyebrows. This specific angle creates an unsettling effect. To them, it feels like you are analyzing them, dissecting their insecurities. It makes you appear unbothered, almost bored by their outburst. While they are losing control, you are freezing time. You will see them falter. They will stutter. They will look away. In that split second, the power dynamic flips. They are no longer the attacker. They are the subject of your scrutiny. Use this responsibly, but never forget, in this world, your eyes are weapons, not windows to your soul. Point number 2, the verbal mirror. This is the core of your defense system. When an aggressor strikes, perhaps a colleague calling you unprofessional or a client claiming your work is unacceptable, your biological instinct is to defend. You want to argue facts. You want to say, "No, I am not. Stop." The moment you defend yourself, you are validating their frame. You are accepting their premise that you are on trial. Instead, execute the mirror. This technique is not a parlor trick. It is a proven psychological mechanism utilized in therapeutic settings and hostage negotiations to rapidly lower the emotional temperature of a volatile subject. As detailed in analyses of tactical empathy within the Times, Harvard Business Review, mirroring functions by disrupting the aggressor's flow. It signals that you are listening, which disarms them, but it simultaneously forces their brain to stop attacking and start processing. Here is the exact formula. 1. Maintain the gaze we just discussed. 2. Isolate the last 3 critical words of their sentence. 3. Repeat them back with an upward inflection, like a genuine question. Picture the scene. You are in a high-pressure performance review in London or New York. The aggressor says, "Your performance lately has been incredibly disappointing." The victim pleads, "I've been trying my best. I have family issues." The mirror says flatly, "Incredibly disappointing? Now you wait." You have just placed an invisible wall between you and their insult. They cannot hit you again until they explain that statement. They are forced to pivot from emotion to logic. They might stammer, you missed the email on Tuesday." Suddenly, the accusation shrinks from a character assassination to a minor administrative error. You didn't fight. You didn't get angry. You simply held up a mirror, and they were forced to confront the absurdity of their own aggression. This is how you win a war without firing a single shot. Point number 3, calculated silence. Silence is the loudest sound in the room, yet few people have the courage to use it. In the digital age, we are conditioned to respond instantly. A ping, a notification, a question, we jump like trained dogs. When you react immediately to disrespect, you signal that the aggressor has access to your time and control over your emotions. You validate their importance. To regain power, you must weaponize response latency. This is the time gap between a stimulus and your reaction. Research from the Times Journal of Social and Personal Relationships. Times confirms that increased response latency creates high levels of uncertainty. In the absence of information, the human brain spirals. It fills the void with its worst fears. Consider the phenomenon of ghosting. Why is it so effective at destroying someone's peace of mind? Because the lack of closure forces the victim to obsess over the perpetrator. You must apply this exact dynamic to your professional enemies. Here is the scenario. It is Friday, 5 p.m. A rival colleague sends a passive-aggressive email, CCing the management, pointing out a minor flaw in your report. The subject line is urgent. The tone is condescending. Most people, the checkers players, panic. They ruin their weekend, drafting a long defensive reply to clarify the situation. They are desperate to be understood. You are different. You read the email, you see the trap, and you do nothing. You go home. You enjoy your weekend. You let that silence ferment for 48 hours. By Monday morning, your colleague is not thinking about the report. They are paralyzed by your non-reaction. Is he angry? Is he talking to the CEO? Does he think I'm irrelevant? By the time you reply on Monday afternoon with a brief 2-sentence acknowledgement, you have already won the psychological war. In face-to-face combat, use the 3-second rule. When hit with an insult, do not speak. Count internally. 1, 2, 3. Maintain the gaze. Let their words hang in the dead air, suffocating them. Silence forces them to reflect on their own foolishness, while you remain an enigma. Point number 4. The reality check. There is a trapdoor that every manipulator uses when they are cornered. It is the universal escape hatch of the coward. I was just joking. You have experienced this. You successfully mirror an insult, you hold your ground, and suddenly they pivot. They roll their eyes. They smile with condescending pity. They say, "Relax. Don't be so sensitive. Can't you take a joke?" In the UK, they call it just a bit of banter. In the US, they call you uptight. Do not be fooled. This is not humor. This is a specific psychological mechanism known as gaslighting. According to clinical definitions found in Times Medical News Today, gaslighting occurs when an abuser tries to overwrite the victim's reality to avoid accountability. By labeling their aggression as humor, they are attempting to convince you that your reaction, not their insult, is the social error. They are trying to make you trust their definition of the situation over your own gut instinct. Most people, the nice guys, fold here. They laugh awkwardly. They apologize for being serious. They betray themselves just to smooth over the tension. You will not do this. Instead, you will use a counter tactic known by experts as reality testing. You are going to force them to validate their premise. If they claim it is a joke, treat it like a joke. Ask for the punchline. When they say, "I'm just kidding," you do not get angry. You do not explain why it was mean. You simply look at them with deadpan curiosity and say, "I don't get it. Can you explain to me what makes that funny?" And then you wait. You have just set a trap. A joke is only funny when the underlying prejudice remains unspoken. When you force a bully to articulate why they are mocking your appearance, your work, or your background, the humor evaporates. They have to explain the sexism, the racism, or the cruelty out loud. They will stutter. They will say, "Oh, never mind." By stripping away the label of humor, you expose the naked aggression underneath. You didn't make it awkward. You just turned on the lights. Point number 5, the unpredictable reward. Have you ever wondered why bad boys or toxic bosses are often the most charismatic figures in the room? Why do people obsess over partners who treat them with indifference? It is not because humans enjoy pain. It is because of a fundamental psychological mechanism identified by B.F. Skinner, known as intermittent reinforcement. Research in behavioral psychology confirms that rewards delivered on a variable schedule create the strongest, most persistent habits. If a rat presses a lever and receives a pellet every single time, it eventually loses interest. It takes the reward for granted. But if the lever only yields a reward sometimes times randomly, without a clear pattern, that rat will press the lever until it collapses from exhaustion. Uncertainty creates addiction. Most of you behave like vending machines. You are consistent. You are reliable. You are perpetually pleasant. Your colleagues put a coin in a morning greeting, a request for help, and they know exactly what they will get out. This makes you safe, but it also renders you invisible. You are a utility. To command respect, you must stop being a vending machine and start being a casino. Apply this to the person trying to humiliate you. Once you have neutralized their attack with mirroring, Do not return to baseline niceness. Oscillate. On Monday, give them high warmth interaction. Be charming. Engage with their stories. Look them in the eye and smile. Give them the win. But on Tuesday, withdraw. Be professional, but icy. Answer with one word. Do not ask them how their weekend was. This sudden shift triggers a panic response. Their brain, addicted to the dopamine hit from Monday, begins to spiral. They think, did I offend him? Is he talking to management? What changed? They stop plotting against you and start working to regain your approval. They are no longer the predator. They are the gambler standing at your table, hoping for a payout. By controlling the flow of your validation, you control the relationship. Point number 6, strategic indifference. Humiliation is a transaction. It requires two parties, the giver and the receiver. If you refuse to accept the delivery, the transaction fails. The only reason someone's insult stings is because you value their opinion, their validation, or their resources. You have handed them the keys to your self-worth. To take those keys back, you must understand the sociology of control. This brings us to Richard Emerson's power dependence theory. The equation is ruthless in its simplicity. The power person A has over person B is directly equal to person B's dependence on person A. If you depend on them for your salary, your social status, or your emotional stability, they own you. They can humiliate you because they know you are too afraid to sever the tie. They smell your desperation like blood in the water. Most people in the corporate world, the terrified majority, operate from a place of scarcity. They tolerate abuse because they are terrified of the unknown. They think, if I speak up, I lose my job. You must operate differently. You must cultivate walk-away power. This is the quiet, unshakable confidence that comes from knowing you have options. Imagine sitting in a contract negotiation or a heated performance review. The other side tries to leverage your fear. They make a snide comment. They threaten your position. Instead of flinching, you lean back. You look at them with total neutrality. You communicate, without saying a word, that you are perfectly capable of packing your box and walking out the door forever. When you genuinely do not care if you lose the deal, you become dangerous. You become unmanageable. The moment they realize you are not dependent on them, their power evaporates. They stop trying to dominate you and start trying to retain you. Never forget the golden rule of any relationship, business or personal. The person who is most willing to walk away holds all the power. Whoever cares less wins. Point number 7, the scarcity of yes. Here is a pattern you will recognize. The same person who subtly humiliates you in the morning, mocking your ideas, rolling their eyes, will come to your desk at 2 p.m. They need a favor. They need you to cover a shift, fix a spreadsheet, or support their proposal. This is not a contradiction. This is a test. They are checking to see if you have a spine. In the West, we are raised to be people pleasers. We are taught that being agreeable is a virtue. We are taught to be team players. But let's look at the hard data. A landmark study published in the Times Journal of Personality and Social Psychology Times analyzed the relationship between personality traits and financial success. The results were brutal. They found a significant inverse relationship between agreeableness and income. The nicer you are, the less you make. The more you accommodate, the less you are respected. When you say yes to everyone, your yes becomes worthless. It is simple economics. You are flooding the market. To increase your value, you must manufacture scarcity. You must learn the power of the clean refusal. Most of you, When you want to say no, you beg for forgiveness. You say, "I'm so sorry. I would love to help, but I'm just really swamped right now." You are justifying your existence to someone who disrespects you. Stop it. Next time the humiliator asks for a favor, look them in the eye, keep your face completely still, and say, "No." Or, if you must be professional, that won't be possible. Do not offer an excuse. Do not blame your schedule. Do not apologize. The moment you offer an excuse, you give them a handle to argue with. You give them leverage. When you simply say, "No," you are a wall. They will be shocked. They might call you difficult, but secretly, for the first time, they will view you as a peer. Point number 8. The high exit. This is where amateurs lose. You have successfully mirrored their aggression. You have maintained eye contact. You have said no. The tension in the room is palpable. At this exact moment, most people panic. They feel the weight of the silence and they try to fix it. They giggle nervously. They say, "But anyway, no hard feelings, right?" They linger at the water cooler, waiting for the other person to smile so they can feel safe again. This is catastrophic. By seeking reassurance at the end, you hand all your power back to them. You frame your previous strength as an accident. To win, you must leave while the tension is still high. You need to understand how memory works. Nobel Prize-winning psychologist Daniel Kahneman identified a cognitive shortcut known as the peak end rule. His research suggests that the human brain does not remember an experience by taking an average of every moment. Instead, it judges the entire event based on 2 specific points: the most intense moment, the peak, and the final moment, the end. If you end the interaction by apologizing or making awkward small talk, you rewrite the memory. You become the person who backed down. You must hack this bias. Here is the execution. The moment you have delivered your punchline or your refusal, stop. Do not explain. Do not wait for their reaction. Check your watch. Give a slight, polite nod, not a smile, just an acknowledgement. And say, "I have to get back to work." Then turn around and walk away. Do not look back. Do not check to see if they are watching. By removing yourself from the equation immediately after your victory, you deny them the chance to counterattack. You leave them alone with their own embarrassment. Their brain will be forced to loop that final image of you walking away, unbothered and unreachable. You are like the action hero walking away from an explosion without flinching. The conversation is over because you decided it was over. We have covered 8 laws of dark intelligence, but information without execution is merely entertainment. In the modern West, we are conditioned to be soft, to be vulnerable, and to overshare. But in a society driven by ruthless competition, Stoicism is not just a philosophy, it is the ultimate weapon. The underlying principle here is not cruelty, it is self-respect. You must respect yourself enough to mirror the disrespect. You are teaching the world exactly how to treat you. Here is your mission. For the next 7 days, identify one person in your life who habitually crosses the line. Do not argue with them. Do not get emotional. Simply use the verbal mirror. When they attack, repeat their last 3 words as a question. Watch their confusion. Watch their dominance crumble when it is starved of your reaction. But a final warning: do not use this to become the monster you are fighting. A harmless man is not a good man. A good man is a dangerous man who keeps his sword sheathed until it is absolutely necessary. Use this intelligence to protect yourself and to defend those who cannot defend themselves. Be the wall that the chaos of the world breaks against. Now, go.